Arizona, Arizona, bring that joy with you. Bring those smiles. Bring that positive future as you join me.
We have a lot of bad things coming up. You could end up in a depression of the 1929 variety, which would be a devastating thing. Took many years, took decades to recover from it.
Republican side, it's a little more negative. It's more making it more personal, and just like the attacks seem to be a negative thing. I don't think that's a good course for them. I think Kamala Harris and her VP pick are much more hopeful and positive for everybody. So
but for the most part, I feel like Kamala's going on the approach of, let me just tell you what I've done and what I plan on doing, versus Trump. He's on the slander. That's it. That's all. He's not talking about what his plans are. He's just slandering at this point, which I don't like that.
I think Trump's campaign displays a lot of strength and unity and hope for the future, whereas I think Kamala Harris's campaign is more, it's all over the place, and for months we would barely ever see Joe Biden, and all of a sudden Kamala Harris is the nominee for the Democratic Party when she was never nominated in the first place. She came out of nowhere, and Biden, we haven't seen him really at all for weeks or months. So I think, and then just looking at the state of the country now, I don't think Kamala Harris's campaign is one of joy and hope. I think that's Trump's campaign.
You know, everyone understands that we need to be here to support Trump because he has never let us down. You know, they fired him and he just keeps on, they shoot at him and he still keeps firing back.
The word that emerges for me for both candidates is actually trust. It seems like both candidates, both parties, are basically trying to convince people that you can trust them. You can trust them with your future. You can trust them with your family's future. You can trust it with the future of the country. But you definitely cannot trust the other candidate.
But we're going to get it back bigger, better, stronger than ever before. Thank you very much. This is some crap.
The research would predict that the incumbent, and I guess here we can consider Harris a sort of incumbent, would always go positive, speaking to what has been accomplished during their time in office. You do see some negative messaging from Trump. It's messaging that I think is designed to make people afraid of voting for Harris. But again, what's interesting about that is that fear ads, these ads that try to make us afraid, have a really storied history in American presidential elections, especially often related to people who are challengers, as Trump is in this case.
You know, a lot of research shows that people aren't as receptive to positive messages. And, you know, if somebody comes out and says, well, this is what I'm going to do for you, they might say, well, politicians make empty promises, or how are you going to get that done? And so I think there may be a lot of cynicism, particularly with what are sometimes called the double haters or the skeptics, the people who aren't really sure they want to vote for either candidate. There may just be a lot of built-in cynicism that, do I believe that the candidate is really going to do all of these things that they say they're going to do? So I think that's a challenging audience to reach because they're not necessarily plugged in. They don't want to hear negativity, and they're skeptical of a positive message.